The LDCs represent the poorest and most vulnerable. The LLDCs are vulnerable due to their remoteness and lack of access to the sea, essentially limiting access to trading ports and world markets. And the SIDS, also remote from world markets, are deeply impacted by climate change and sea level rise. These countries in special situations deserve special attention from the General Assembly in their pursuit of sustainable development. This is why one of the first strategic decisions I took during my presidency was to relaunch the Advisory Board on LDCs, LLDCs, and SIDS.
The board brings together the key players in the United Nations, the UN leadership, as well as the president of the ECOSOC, along with the president of the GA, but also the chairs of the three respective groups.
I think the appointment and the composition of this board was very useful, both for us as the team to gather information and to share information, and we hope bring useful feedback to the President of the General Assembly.
Over the past year, the Advisory Board of LDCs, LLDCs, and SIDS has served as a critical platform for amplifying the voices of these special groups of countries.
And I believe that the Board of Advisors plays a critical role in keeping the focus on these three groups of countries and keeping the LDCs, LLDCs, and the SIDS high on the UN's agenda.
We have been able to come together, openly discuss amongst each other, learn from each other, and share that within our agencies.
This board was quite useful for us to provide the strategic the advice to the president, and also bring the issues and priorities of the LDCs, LLDC, and SIDS. And also the mobilize the support.
So I think the President of the General Assembly, in his wisdom, set up this advisory board, and I think it was an excellent initiative to give us the space and the opportunity to discuss among ourselves and see how we can collaborate and cooperate.
The board has also allowed us to bring coherent messages to some of the other global processes which are currently being negotiated, including, of course, the Summit of the Future. 92
of the most vulnerable countries in the world, 1.3 billion people, the other ones who are being left behind, they're seriously off track on the SDGs, but there's tremendous potentials also there.
SIDS, LLDCs, and LDCs have the most to gain and to lose in achieving the 2030 agenda and all the other global development frameworks.
These groups of countries are absolutely critical for our work at ITU.
We help advance the agenda for the countries covered by the board, the LDCs, the LLDCs, and the SIDS, but it helps to advance the sustainable development agenda in general.
Ensure food security is a top priority for those most vulnerable countries.
And our research shows that 70% of the SDG targets can be accelerated by focusing on digital technologies.
As UNIDO, we look forward to advising the PGA, especially on the issue of resilient economies. That's what countries are calling for. Without an economic foundation, the SDGs will eventually not be achieved.
We are grateful for the support, both logistically and substantively.
The unique Sustainability Week hosted by the President of the General Assembly in last April was particularly helpful.
The highlight of my membership of the Advisory Board was during the Sustainability Week.
And we really appreciate the fact that the President had the Sustainability Week and the fact that financing infrastructure was one of the topics there. And that's certainly been one of the areas of inspiration that we've obtained from this board for our work.
Elevating the discussions in the General Assembly have certainly helped to shape the direction of how we're going to support these groups of countries going forward to enhance their development.
All this requires concerted action, and the PGA's board is just the perfect place to elaborate the solutions to that, and we're very happy to be a part of that.
We look forward to continue the dialogue and input from this board as we head into the Summit of the Future under the FFD4 next year.
We also hope that the work of this advisory board can continue as we pursue our development endeavors.